Alright guys, if you'll remember, whenever we went to help Josh over at his homestead, Josh of Sherman's Family Farms, or Sherman's Family Farm, yeah, we had a problem with this wheel right here. Alright, we just loaded up the tractor from over here at Sherman's, and we have a broken shackle. You got a helper right there. Big help. Uh-oh. That don't feel good. Well, 4 of them felt good. Spinning the whole thing, isn't it? All right, folks, it's back together. It ain't pretty, but it's back together. So what we had was broken shackles, and one of his neighbors happened to have shackles, believe it or not. So we replaced those 2 shackles, and we ended up having to cut that whole wheel stud off right there. So anyway, what's that?
I just stuck it on there and it stopped on there.
Yeah.
It don't go no more, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah. So, can I get it off?
Yeah.
Okay. We totally lost that. I mean, we had to take that out. It's jacked. This one is screwed on part way because I really didn't want anything on there, but Josh run that up there with a gun and told me, he said, well, even if it's part way, it's helping. No, it's not helping, Josh. If it's part way, it means, and you can't get it off and you can't get it on, then you're just stuck. So the only ones that are holding are these 4. So what I've got to do is I've got to replace this. So let's see if we can get that done this morning. Yeah, that's chrome. Yeah, this is an impact. Yeah, okay. All right. All right, see if we can get any of this off here. Boy, that didn't want to come off at all. That thing was bound up from the get-go right there. Look at that. That is locked up. It will not come off. All right, let's see if this one come off. That one came off just fine. Here's the one that's halfway on there that Josh stuck on there. So let's see if it'll come off. So, can I get it off?
Yeah.
Okay. I bet you anything it won't. Nope, it won't because it is pushed through. Okay. So this won't come off. That goes in and out, so it won't come off because it won't hold. Wow. We had so many of them here that wouldn't come off. Oh, and that one there is spinning in the back, and that one won't come off. And, oh my goodness. All right, let me get in another tool. There we go. Something's moving. Ha! Look at there. There, folks. Wheel is off. There's that one. That one just wants to fall out, which is not necessarily good, guys. Who all else is no good here? I know this one's no good here. Kit. So let's check and see if these are going to work. Alright, look at there. It's the same kind of thing right there. Try this in. I mean, we got a little bit. But mostly the way we put these in is we put a nut on there with the flat toward the thing. We get it to where it bites just a little bit like I just did, so it's starting to bite. We pulled that in. Wallered out in the deal too, so I'm just going to use all the good holes. Alright, there's our 5 wheel studs. Tight. Wheel is on there, guys. Fixed. Now let's work on something cool. Many of you may know, and many of you may not know, y'all, we got a 69 GTO. Yeah, we got a 69 GTO. All right, so having said that stuff, let's see if I can get under this hood. I can see that. All right, see if I can get this hood up. There we go. All right, guys. This is an all aluminum Pontiac 535 cubic inch engine. It's got all drag race suspension. It's got AFCO shocks. It's got the, you know, tubular upper and lowers. It's got the slotted rotors. It's got the race brakes, vacuum pump, the bars that's required for this thing to run as fast as it does. It's got a engine plate and a mid plate back there. So yeah, it's got a Dominator hiding up underneath that breather right there, 1250. So anyway, This engine makes 926 horsepower on the dyno. Not a chassis dyno, guys. Not one of them. I got into a debate yesterday with a guy about chassis dynos because he asked me how much the horsepower of the car made, and actually he asked me what the car ran, and I told him. And then he said, well, how much horsepower does it make? And I told him. And he said, oh, so it weighs about 2,600 pounds. And I said, no. It weighs 3,400 pounds. It's a 3,400 pound car. This is all real glass, guys. It's all real steel. Real glass. These doors are heavy. Those are interior door panels for a GTO. This is the dash and everything for a GTO. You add a bunch of cage to it, you actually even make it heavy. So, yeah, trunk lid, steel, everything, steel, glass, you name it. So, anyway, he's like, was so-and-so's car dynoed way more horsepower. It's a chassis dyno, and they don't run quite that fast. And I said, yeah, I know. I'm going to tell you something about chassis dynos. A lot of times those guys are real happy with them. Because the happier you are, the more money you'll spend. So if they do a little something to your car and they throw it on chassis dyno, they turn something down looser and it picks up, you know, like 150 horsepower from this little tweak they did on your fan belt, or, you know, or they put in a new tune or something like that, and they go, yeah, see? So these guys leave there with, oh, my car puts out 1,200 to the rear wheels. And then they get it to the track and it runs maybe 10s and a quarter. This car's a lot faster than that, guys. This one is. So, anyway, yeah. So, my plan today, other than fixing the trailer, showing you the truck, seeing what we're going to do there, is I've got to change the oil in this. I've got to dump the antifreeze out of it because I put antifreeze in the radiator over the winter, and I've got to dump it out because you can't run antifreeze at the track. So I'm going to do that. My wife and I are going to check some stuff on the throttle here in a little bit. I'm going to fire it up and I'll load it in the morning. I'm not going to load it tonight. I'll load it tomorrow. And we're going to Centerville, Arkansas tomorrow. Last time I had it at the track, this trim right here came off. Came loose, let's just put it that way. What's really cool is I get to see how good that metal is back there, and it's really good. It's really good. The piece of trim, I still have it. A little tweak, not bad. But at around 150 miles an hour, that tends to want to come off. So I've got to come up with a better way of attaching the chrome trim at the top there, because this trim just has little studs and little bitty clips and stuff like that it clips into, and it was never designed to go as fast as this goes. So I'm going to show you a little, without seeing my messy shop. We don't have one 69 GTO, we have two. Here's the other one. Now this car right here is very close to being running. This, yeah, this actually goes on this 69 right here. So, yeah. This is the blower for the other 69. There's the intake manifold for the blower. The engine for the car is sitting directly in front of it. All I've got to do is I've just got to put some stuff back together, find a radiator for it, fire it up. So anyway, that's our little street car, and this is our little bit faster than a street car. So anyway, let me get started on some of this. I noticed See that drip right there on the floor? I noticed that. Alright, so then I get to looking around and I go, okay, where's that coming from? Is it coming from the oil filter? Is there anything on the bottom of the oil filter? The oil filter is absolutely dry, so it's not the oil filter. This is a vacuum pump. Okay, so what this does is it pulls vacuum on the engine and helps ring seal, helps you keep from having leaks, and keeps your oil cleaner. So I've got this vacuum pump on here, and I thought, well, let's just run my finger along the, and there it is. So the vacuum pump is actually leaking, and what I'm gathering, yep, it's leaking from right there at these fittings. So I've got a wrench here, snug those up. Alright, that's taken care of. I'll wipe it all down. We should be all good. Alright, let's get on to something else. We have a catch can right here, that Moroso catch can right there, that catches the oil that the vacuum pump actually sucks up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test and see if that has anything in it. And I've got a catch pan right down there catching all that. So what I'm doing is draining that. It's not hitting the firewall, it's not hitting the frame, so it's not going to be like on the frame down there. And it's going right into that pan just like it should. Okay, since I'm not completely adverse to reusing antifreeze that never even ran in the car, I put it in there in the winter, and now I'm going to dump it. We never even drove the car. So anyway, let's see if I can get this. So I'm just going to try to catch it. Put it right back in the jug. So we'll let that drain for a while. I'm going to release this cap right here. You can see the antifreeze in there. So let that drain for a while. If that gets full, we'll dump it in something and put it back underneath there. So let's drain that out. Then I'll run the water pump and we'll pump it out of the engine as well. Here. Still green. Washing it out. Alright guys, I've got the water topped off in this thing. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the, this is a catch, an overflow catch for the water. And I'm going to see if there's anything in it. There may not be anything in it. Now sometimes it'll act like there's nothing in it, but you're not sure. So what you can do is you can get a little wire or something like that, something really small, and run it up through this bottom orifice here. And see there? Look at that water coming out of there. See, I'd have never known. The thing was completely plugged up. It's drained out. So now I can shut that. This is all good right here. Drain pan underneath there. I finally found an oil filter wrench, which I'm going to tell you, if you're like around Gillum Farms garage, that's no small feat to find an oil filter wrench. Alright, let's see if we can get this in here. Okay, darn. Kind of turning. Let's see if we can not make a huge mess. awesome. I already see a mess coming though. Oh, here comes the mess, guys. And I have a feeling it's going to get on that lower radiator hose, which I didn't want. Oh. All right. There it goes. All right. That's in there. Oil filter is filled, clean. Screen's all redone. All right. Now let's move to pop it and getting the oil out of the actual engine. This car is very, very, very low to the ground. So, and as you can see, the paint is not perfect on it, guys. I mean, it's an old beat up car. This paint's been on here since the 90s, I think. All right. It's a very good pan. Steph's aluminum oil pan. While I'm under here, I need to wipe all this down. There's some more oil right there from my little snafu of taking the oil filter off. So wipe that down. Make sure we got it all good and nice and clean, because we don't like any leakies at all. All right, I think I'm going to jack it up some more, and then I'm going to put some jack stands under it. Then I'm going to get under the side and see if I can get a wrench on that back, because I am sure that that's where the, and excuse me, but this is like the 5th pan I've had on this car, and all of them have different setups. Some of them are on the side, some of them are on the front, some of them are on the very bottom. This one happens to be at the very back. I need to make sure that I've got an Allen I can put on that, make sure that that's sucked down good. So I've had one of these come apart on me before, right here. I've had this come apart on me before. I've had these bolts come out in here before. I've had a lot of things happen before. Make sure the alternator's good and tight. This belt right here, I've got a new belt for it, and I'm going to put a new belt on it. This one has never given me a problem at all, but this one right here has flipped over on me. The last time I raced it, it flipped over. And once they flip over, they get memory from the other side. So even if you put them back the way they're supposed to be, they'll end up flipping again. So they end up with memory. All right, let me get this jacked up some more and get some jack stands under it, and then get up there where I can get the oil out of it. Alrighty, hopefully you can see this. So the drain plug is right here. That's it. Oh, there we go. Ready for the mess. Yeah, look at that oil. That oil looks like it's never been run. But it's been a year since we've been anywhere. So since it's been a year, we need to change it. No water contamination, no fuel contamination. That's the most beautiful oil ever. And I'll tell you guys, you would cry if I told you how much that stuff is. It's $65 a gallon, and I use 2 gallons of it. A wrench here.
This runs to the vacuum pump. Get that out of the way. Alright, let's find the things I need to put the oil in. I'm ready to drop $130 worth of oil into this thing. Alright. Hopefully I don't spill it, because that doesn't fit very well. And that fitting, it don't just slide in there. I happened to do this back whenever I had some discretionary funding, build this car and this motor. And since we've got it, we might as well play. Well, we got the oil in it. Take that out. Set this down here on this rag so it can leak down there. Put this back on. Make sure this is all good and clean. It is. Make sure it's not cross-threaded. A big old huge wrench here. All right. The next thing is going to be the alternator belt. Takes a 1/2 inch on the back side here. Loosen that up a little bit. It takes a 9/16 right here. It moved. All right. The problem with this is I also have to take off the this belt here. So that's the big problem. So let's see which belt this is. Make sure I've got it here. 13A1120. Well, it says it's a 20. All right. Looks like we're taking this other belt off over here. I hate to do it, but it has to be done. Oh. Okay. Had a gear wrench, 1/2 inch. Apparently it's walked off. All right, pretty tight. Now let's see if we can get this back on. My goodness, this might not work. This aluminum pulley, black anodized aluminum. Oh, got it. All right. Okay, back on. All right. I got my help here. What we're going to do is we're going to check full throttle on this car. I'm not sure that it's getting full throttle, so I want to make sure of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the breather off of it so we can get to that massive, nice 1250 Dominator carburetor that's on there. All right, now what I have to do is I have to determine whether or not this car is hitting full throttle, absolute wide open. So what we're going to do is she's going to get in the car and she's actually going to hit the throttle. I'm going to put the camera over it. All right, what we want to see is if those throttle blades there open completely. All right, just push it wide open and just hold it down. That's pretty wide open. All right, you got it?
I got it down.
Okay, just leave it. I don't think you can get more wide open than that. So, all right, we're wide open throttle. All right, let off. Perfect. All right. Well, we know that's going to work. So, on to the next thing, which the next thing is going to be getting the fuel out for it. You saw me unload this barrel of fuel out of the back of my truck. It is Q16. And it is, it's an oxygenated fuel. Anyway, I'm going to pump some out. Yeah, fuel going into it. There it goes. Pumping right on in there. If you look, you can see the fuel coming up right there. Turn around here where I can see the 5-gallon mark. It's right there. All right, we're right almost 4 gallons. All right, we're going to call that dead on 5 right there. Okay, that's all I'm going to put in it for right now to start it. She's on the trailer. Let me let this tongue down some. Put the ramps up, tire down, and let's get ready to go. All right, hey, we made it to Centerville. So we are here and there's already cars coming down the track, just like I thought would happen. So anyway, we'll see if we get to make a pass or two. We'll see what happens.
She looked like she was hungry. She looked hungry, like she was just eating it up.
596 on that one.
Woo!
It's got more in it.
Yeah, I know.
I banged off Rebel in the first.
Did you? Looked like she was hooking good.
Yeah. Couple of days after that little test down there at Centerville, and I'm sitting here contemplating the car a little bit. We have a big race coming up in Kansas this weekend, And our race in Kansas this weekend is actually, we're going to be doing a little bit of grudge racing during that race. So anyway, got the old GTO here. It's still exactly the same way as it was whenever we left the track the other night and everything. So it's all still running good and everything. But the thing is, we got some grudge racing, and the grudge racing says run what you brung. So got 3 days before the race. So, you know, I think somebody might find out that old Johnny here at Gillum Farms, you know, I've never been called scared, for one thing. And I'm your Huckleberry. So anyway, if you like this type of video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll continue to bring more content in the future as available. And as always, everybody, God bless. And remember to watch, because we got the big race in Kansas coming right up. Yeah. Plus that's going to be bad fast.